Gun test contributing editor Robert Campbell and his South Carolina test team recently had a chance to shoot 3 interesting rimfire handguns head-to-head. The Glock 44 Compact, Glock's first rimfire, is a clean design. The Glock 44 has been the subject of considerable interest among both Glock fans and .22 rimfire enthusiasts. Next was a Ruger LCP II Lite Rack. The Ruger is a .22 caliber version of the popular LCP II 380 ACP pistol. Handling of the Ruger LCP II rimfire is good considering the cramped quarters the hand must operate in. The third handgun was the Smith Wesson M&P22 Compact. The Compact is similar to the standard M&P22, but the Compact differs considerably. The larger pistol is made for Smith & Wesson by Walther, while the M&P22 Compact is made in the USA by Smith & Wesson. Here's what we liked and didn't like about each pistol, and at the end we explain which one we'd buy. All our test ammunition was reasonably accurate. The best reliability came from the high velocity loads. We had surprisingly few failures to fire, the bane of rimfire ammunition. This is one good firing pin strike the S&W delivered without ignition. Left to right are the Ruger, Smith & Wesson, and Glock magazines. The Smith & Wesson and Glock magazines have easy load features, such as tabs on the followers. The Ruger is more difficult to load, but it is supplied with a magazine loader. We encountered nagging malfunctions with the Glock 44. These are feedway stoppages. Perhaps this was due to improper loading of the magazine, but we were no more careful with the other handguns. In the Glock 44's .22 long rifle magazine, the cartridges must be properly loaded to assure feed reliability. If you look closely, the cartridges are not properly staggered in the magazine. We found that when loading the Glock magazine, the cartridges must be at the proper angle or the first round up may misfeed. The Glock is supplied with grip inserts to customize hand fit. The Glock 44's marksman barrel is well fitted and delivered good accuracy. We tried the Glock 44 in this Galco Triton holster, intended for the Glock 19. It worked well. Fired offhand, the Glock 44 is a joy to use. It demonstrated good runs on the steel plates. Field stripping is easy enough, and it's pure Glock for the G44 rimfire. The Ruger LCP II is a good design that makes the most of a tiny package. The Ruger was the most fun gun to fire among the 3. The .22 caliber Ruger is simple to operate and mostly reliable, but during the firing tests, there were 8 to 10 times we had failures to feed, primarily with the subsonic loads, but also at least twice with high velocity loads. Ammo or gun malfunction? You be the judge. The Ruger Lite Rack LCP II is supplied with a useful pocket holster. Also, BadDaddyTactical.com offers a quality appendix draw holster for the LCP II. Disassembly for the LCP II isn't difficult, but it's not our favorite because the parts are not captive. Note the tiny recoil spring. During the firing test, we sometimes accidentally locked the slide back during recoil. It was caused by the firing hand thumb hitting the slide lock. Overall, the manual safety is a good addition that requires some practice to manipulate quickly. The Ruger's sights are not the largest of the test, but they work fine. within the limitations of a tiny pistol. The Smith Wesson M&P22 Compact is a fun gun and a great all-around shooter. The M&P22 was the most reliable handgun tested. An advantage of the M&P22 Compact and the Glock 44 is their ability to mount a light like this TrueGlow unit. We like the Smith & Wesson pistol's firing characteristics as the results on this target show. The M&P's adjustable sights are the best of the test. The high visibility rear sight is shown here, cranked slightly upward. The Smith & Wesson features a fixed barrel and easy takedown. Rotate a lever and pull the slide off the rear of the frame. This view of the Smith & Wesson's controls shows a thoughtful layout. From left to right are the grooved takedown lever, the slide lock lever, the ambi safety lever, and a small beaver tail. The test team liked the Glock 44. It had a combination of lightweight, modest recoil, and Glock handling. But we did not like the reliability issues. As a trainer, it gets high marks and an overall B grade. The Ruger LCP II is fun to fire, which is seldom true of even the best small .380 ACPs. The LCP II Rimfire excels as a trainer for the LCP II 380. The LCP II is the lightest and least accurate handgun tested here, but it holds as many rounds as the other two and is more reliable than the Glock. It too earned a B grade. The Smith & Wesson M&P22 Compact is accurate enough for field use and kit gun chores, and it makes a good trainer. It was the least expensive handgun tested, and it was also the most reliable. We gave it an A grade and made it our pick in this test. Gun Test Magazine evaluates firearms head-to-head every month with recommendations and grades. Check the guntest.com website. As always, I'm Todd Woodard, editor of Gun Test Magazine. We'll see you at the range.
You can learn more about this report and others, plus the latest issue of Gun Test Magazine at guntest.com.